Hi, welcome to A Week in Walford, the EastEnders review show presented by two people too scared to go round to Michelle Fowler's for dinner. I'm David Brown.
And I'm Johnathon Hughes.
This week's headlines: Willmott-Brown faces his past,
Michelle takes control,
and the rehabilitation of Karen Taylor. Now, before we begin, I'd just like to say that me and Johnny haven't deliberately come dressed as each other today.
No.
This is just the way it's unfortunately worked out.
It's pure coincidence, but we have decided this is the Week in Walford official uniform, so if you'd all at home like to dress like this when watching it, that would be very helpful, thank you.
So yes, next week more of the same.
Yes, we'll be wearing dresses next week.
But now on to EastEnders itself. We'll begin with Willmott-Brown facing up to Kathy Beale in the cafe, which sent Kathy reeling into Ian Beale's photo album, which contained a few very surprising pictures. They all seem to be kind of like BBC publicity pictures for a start, which are always on the sideboard at the houses anyway. They're the most well-lit family photos you've ever seen. Yeah, all on the cover of TV magazines over the years. Yes.
Yes, well, within Ian Beale's photo album, also the photo album of the EastEnders BBC Pictures archive, among all the nice post pictures of Kathy and Pete, Pauline and Arthur, and baby photos, wouldn't you know, there's a lovely picture of smiley Willmott-Brown and Kathy in the Dagmar circa 1987.
Why has Ian got a picture of his mum's rapist in his family album?
Only Ian can answer this, and I hope he does. It did make me wonder, if Willmott-Brown's in there, Kathy's nemesis, who else is in this album? Is Mrs. Hewitt in there, who stole Arthur from Pauline?
Cindy standing over Ian's bloodied body after she's arranged to just have him shot.
Yeah, with the hitman, maybe hand in hand,
Exactly.
laughing at the lols at trying to have Ian murdered.
Good times.
Willie Roper, who framed Arthur Fowler and drove him practically to madness and death. It's the photo album of shame.
It really is.
With official BBC pictures, very well lit and posed.
So yeah, we saw all that kind of in Kathy, which was very, very fun indeed. And the other surprising thing was that Willmott-Brown seemed to have swatted up on 25 years worth of EastEnders history since he was last in.
Yeah, so he's not been in it for all these years, but he knew everything. He in the Calf with Calf, he referenced Gavin and her faking her death. Like, I hear there was a person called Gavin played
and
by.
with Phil, he said something to Phil.
He did say to Phil, he implied he knew about Phil's drinking and how that had nearly killed him and all of this. I think, yeah, he's basically binge watched. He's downloaded 25 years worth of EastEnders. Or perhaps Fee Browning has done a storyline spreadsheet.
Yeah.
She's been tapping away on that laptop in the office in the sky.
With all the characters down the side of the...
Yeah, different tabs, so he's fully versed. Yeah, it's quite good. There's a lot to catch up on, really.
I think that is Fee's main job at Wayland.
Yeah, well, yeah, she's not doing much else, is she?
No, and then the other thing was quite interesting was that before Phil went off to see Willmott-Brown with his cricket bat, he had a little set to with Vincent, which kind of reminded us that Vincent was once a bit of a villain.
Bit of a tough guy, yeah. Well, it reminded us Vincent's in the show for a start, because he sort of really doesn't do much, does he? He's kind of turned into the Jerry to Kim's Margot Ledbetter, like a henpecked sitcom husband. But this was nice to see a flash of that old Vincent, that gangster, that tough side. I really hope that we're going to get back a bit to that, because I think I miss that.
And talking of dark sides, we saw Michelle gang up with the women of Walford, the witches of Walford, to take down Nosebleed/Stalker Tom, which I thought was quite fun viewing, really.
It was quite fun viewing. So Michelle lured Tom to her house, and it was all kind of it seemed like a ruse for the girls to take charge, a bit of girl power. I did think it came off looking like the worst episode of Come Dine With Me I've ever seen.
What kind of rating would they have gotten?
Oh, can you imagine? Well, Tom's in the cab afterwards going, well, the food was nice, but as for the entertainment, being, knocked over the head with a vase and ritually humiliated by a bunch of women, I give her a 4. But I do wonder whether they can do this every week. Is it like book club?
Oh, it's better than the book club.
Book club meets fight club.
Yeah.
Fighty book club.
Yeah, they just hit various residents
over their heads
with hardbacks.
So I think maybe Karen would invite the bailiff round, who...
Oh, the loan shark guy.
The loan shark who tried to take her telly or whatever, and then Sharon can smack him with an ornament or something. I'd like this to be a weekly occurrence for the women of Walford. Or like Chrissy, Zoe and Sam ended up killing Dirty Den when they got together.
Yeah, very reminiscent
so let's hope they don't murder anyone.
I thought it was quite interesting that Karen Taylor was part of this plot line, actually, because prior to this, she hadn't been seen kind of making allegiances with people. I mean, a couple of months ago, she was punching Sharon in the face, but now they seem to be bezies.
She could have been on the end of that vase herself.
Yeah, exactly.
The way things were going. Yeah, that was interesting. I think I did tell her, actually, as well as that, this week there was a really nice scene with Karen Taylor and Billy Mitchell, kind of out of nowhere. It's only a small scene, but Billy's, you know, stressed about his daughter Janet being in hospital. He feels like he's been a bad parent. Of all people, Karen Taylor gave parenting advice to Billy. It was a really nice scene, and it showed not necessarily a softer Karen, but just someone who's flawed and has, you know, has got a bit of a heart. So she's less demonised, I think, this week.
Yeah, I mean, I think when she came into it, she was so abrasive and in your face. They just wanted to make an impact with the character herself. But then I hope they've realised now that to soften her will kind of win our sympathies a little bit more.
I think so. Give her some friends and make her a laugh. She's quite a laugh. I quite like to maybe not have her come dine with me with Karen Taylor and get attacked, but I'd quite like to, you know, sort of have a drink with her, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would now.
Yeah, not as of this week, not before then. She was a nightmare, but yeah, we're quite liking Karen Taylor. Yeah,
so fingers crossed that they find a little bit more to do with Karen that doesn't involve her just kind of ringing up for benefits and kind of punching people.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, so let's see what happens in 7 days' time if you join us back here then for another week in Walford.